Can I skip Long Ring Long Land? My friends are saying that, even though the arc isn't a filler, it's completely irrelevant to the plot.
I'm kinda new to the anime, so far I'm at the Water 7 arc. I've been skipping all filler episodes, but I don't understand why isn't the Long Ring Long Land arc considered filler. The only important thing about it is the first appearance of OAK KG, but that's way after the Davy back fight, and you could practically skip that and just go to this encounter.
The Long Ring Long Land arc has basically made me hate One Piece. The entire arc made all of the main characters look like weak morons who don't care about their crewmates. And just happen to be very stubborn. Was it actually a real arc? Do things get any better after this? I was so excited about the story of this anime at first, but I can't believe Luffy is the man who will be king of the pirates after this arc.
People who skip Davy back are awful. How can you skip the power of Afro, Sanji and Zoro working together for a few seconds, and the best character in the entire series, Foxy himself? If anything, it's an arc that shows us One Piece isn't only about the plot, sometimes you can just have fun and some adventures.
This guy right here? This guy gets it. The Long Ring Long Land arc, or what I and many others call the Foxy arc, gets a lot of hate from One Piece fans, almost unnecessarily so. It's the one arc that a lot of people begrudgingly accept as canon since it appears in the manga. In these next few minutes, I'll explain why, even though the Foxy arc might not be the best arc, it is! It's an arc that should be valued for its contribution to the overall narrative. First, we should address the most major and totally valid complaint. Here in the sacred land of manga readers, we got a concise arc that lasted less than 2 volumes. In the anime, however, the length of the arc was doubled, making the arc far too long. Luffy also makes some questionable decisions, like choosing to do a second Davy back fight, etc., so it's totally understandable why anime-only fans don't like this arc. You hear me, anime-only fans? You're alright on this one. As far as the original manga is concerned, narratively, the arc serves several important purposes. The first is that it helps re-establish One Piece as a series about pirates. The Foxy arc is arguably the first arc post-East Blue that has everything to do with piracy. The Davy backfight is a fun idea that plays on the fact that pirates are cruel and would be more than willing to break up friendships for the sake of becoming stronger and gaining clout. We also get insight into the kind of captain Luffy is, being pitted against another captain in a test of his morals and values. We surprisingly don't get to see this sort of thing that often in One Piece post-East Blue, with one glorious exception, who I hope to talk about in a future video. There are other characters who get development, namely Robin. And no, I'm not talking about her actions during her encounter with Aokiji, but rather the fact that Robin gets to have some fun and lighthearted interaction with the crew. Before this point, Robin was a villain in Alabasta, got nuked in Skypiea, and then right after this arc, leaves the crew and undergoes great emotional turmoil in Water 7 and Inez Lobby. The Foxy arc allows readers to see Robin act as a real and genuine part of the crew. In a Red Letter Media review, the character Mr. Plinkett had this to say about Obi-Wan and Anakin's relationship in Star Wars Attack of the Clones, and although it's a different story, it highlights why the Foxy arc helps Robin's character narratively. We're given 60 seconds in an elevator to establish that Obi-Wan and Anakin are friends, and please notice how this is not accomplished by how they act as friends, but rather it's by them recounting things that happened in the past, things we never see. Now this may seem trivial, but it establishes an important precedence in the way these films were written. We don't see or feel characters or connections with each other, we have to be told about them. In order for us to believe the Straw Hats are friends, we need to see them act as friends. We see Robin and the others fight and work together to get through the competitions. As this glorious post pointed out, if things were always about racing to get to the end of the plot with no time to pause on fun and adventure, we wouldn't care at all about the characters. And yes, I am implying that Water 7 and Inez Lobby would not have had the same impact if it weren't for Foxy. In many series, we are told that characters are friends, but we never get to see them act as friends. One Piece is different in that sense, and it's the ever-constant bond of the Straw Hat crew that makes this manga so likable. This isn't to say that there aren't some hard-hitting moments in this arc pre-Aokiji, though. Chopper despairs leaving the crew and is suggested by Zoro to man up, since a pirate's life is never about being cozy and always being guaranteed an easy life. This moment in Luffy's speech in his fight against Foxy foreshadowed the separation of the Straw Hats, with Usopp and Robin leaving in Water 7, and later when the whole crew is separated at Saobody. It makes these moments all the more meaningful knowing from this arc how fearful Luffy and the other Straw Hats were of such a possibility. A manga needs fun arcs to establish character relationships and motives, otherwise readers won't care when it finally comes time for those serious plot developments. There really is no justifiable reason to skip the Foxy arc in the manga. It's one of the few arcs specifically focused on piracy, and also has incredible interactions between the Straw Hats that only expand and grow as the series goes on. One Piece has always been about the fun adventure of a stretching rubber man and his crew of misfits. An arc full of gags, shapes, and other silliness is one that will always have a place in the One Piece canon. And Foxy really is the best. I mean, guys, he's so good.